Stop placing conditions on your happiness. That's not how you're going to find long lasting, permanent peace, happiness, joy, bliss. These things are already inside you. These things have always been inside you. When you're born, you are extremely happy. Babies are full of bliss. And it seems that as we grow up, something happens where maybe we kind of get the joy sucked out of us by society. I'm not really sure that's true because that's leaving your responsibility to someone else. That's kind of giving your power away. I think more it's that your thoughts are the things making you unhappy, and it's you listening to your thoughts. It's you listening to all these stories they're telling you on repeat about how you're not worthy, or placing conditions on your happiness, such as if I'm in a relationship, then I'll be happy, or if I have $1 million, I'll be happy, or if I have a job, I'll be happy. And these are all just stories that we tell ourselves. These are all just expectations that we put, and conditions and strings attached that we put on our happiness. And these are all going to be temporary. These are all going to come and go. Relationships are going to come and go. Jobs are going to come and go. Money will come and go. That's the whole flow of the universe, and give and receive. And if you're only happy in the ups and not happy in the downs, you're placing conditions on your happiness. Now, I'm not saying that you shouldn't have expectations. You definitely always want to be hoping for the best and aiming to strive and to achieve, but there's a saying that I've heard before, and I'm not going to claim to make it up, but it's something like happiness equals reality minus expectations. So if you have zero expectations, then your happiness will equal reality. And reality is always perfect. This moment is always perfect. This moment is always exactly how it's supposed to be. And the only thing that makes it imperfect is our perception. We think that it should be like some certain way. We think that it should be conforming to our expectations and our thoughts and our stories about, oh, I'm supposed to be here at this point in my life, because we compare ourselves to other people. We think that we're supposed to be doing things that other people are doing, when everybody is unique and everybody has different things that make them happy. So what makes you happy, what makes me happy, is not going to make somebody else happy, because we live in different environments, we have different states of mind, and we put different conditions on our happiness. And I'm not perfect by any means. This is something that I still work on, but I used to have way more conditions on my happiness than I do now. And I would honestly say I've become far more simple. The only condition really on my happiness now is that I have the ability to express myself and to share my art and to share my message with the world. And I don't really need anything else. It would honestly really hurt inside if somehow I couldn't share my opinions with the world and expression, but that's really the only, I would say, condition I put on my happiness anymore, because I know that it all comes from within. Honestly, even if for some reason I wasn't sharing this anymore, I know that I could find true happiness and true peace, true bliss in just the moment, in just meditation and just breathing, because that's all life really is. It's just breathing. That's a completely different rant, but it really comes to the fact that we live such complicated lives, all these stories we tell ourselves, but life is really simple. It's really follow what makes you happy, do what makes you happy, and you are already happy inside. Whether you are aware of it or not is really up to you. And I know some of you might be thinking, well, what about people like going through depression and anxiety? And I went through depression and anxiety about 2 years ago, and in that moment, I can look back at it now from a broader view, from a broader perspective, and understand that going through those things basically ignited my self-love engine, really showed me the things that I was lacking self-love, lacking discipline, lacking inner peace, and I wasn't aware of the happiness and the joy that's always inside me. I was too busy looking for it outside. I was too busy looking for approval and looking for people to tell me of my worth and to tell me of my value, when I could have just been looking inside the whole time. So that's really what I'm trying to tell you, is that your value, your happiness is always inside you right now. You just have to look for it. It's really as simple as that. Trust me. Well, actually, don't trust me. Put in the work. Look inside and see if you can find this yourself. If you think that you can only be happy when you get approval from other people, that's going to be a very temporary happiness, because what's going to happen when people take the approval away, when you do something that they don't like, or when exactly when they don't like something. Your happiness is only going to be permanent when it comes from within. And when it comes from realizing that you are already happy, you can be happy in any single moment. The only things that are making you unhappy are these conditions, these strings attached that you have in your mind that are kind of going to everywhere in the universe that are saying, well, only if I have $1 million, or only if I have that relationship, or only if I get that grade on the tests, then I'll be happy. And you push these, imagine like infinite strings coming out from your mind that are basically tethering you to all these events, situations, and these are all temporary. These strings are not, they don't have any true basis in reality, because they could just disappear in the blink of an eye if you make the decision to let go. If you make the decision to say, I'm not gonna, it's basically what you're doing is you're giving your power to other things. So you're saying, you're taking all this happiness that you have inside you and you're pushing it away from you. You're not giving it any attention, and you're putting it on all these outside things such as money, relationships, validation, and you're basically giving it to other people because you want it to give them back to you. You want those people to give you the happiness that you already have inside you. And when you think about it like that, it does sound pretty absurd, but in our society, we're taught to really look from without for happiness instead of looking from within. We're taught to strive and achieve, and I'm not saying that you shouldn't go make a difference in the world and go try to help people in whichever way that you feel is best, in whichever way you feel like you can spread your love. But you shouldn't be comparing yourself to another person. I can't be comparing myself to a YouTuber who has 1 million subscribers when I have 10, because I'm not going to make the same type of impact as them, but I know that I can share my authentic message, and whoever receives it and whoever is helped by it, I'm completely fine with that, even if it's just one person. Or I can't compare myself to a best-selling author, because that's the reality of life, is that I have to play the cards that I'm dealt, you have to play the cards that you're dealt. And in my journey as an author, I really used to put my success attached on how many copies of a book that I sold. And soon, within the first couple of months when I didn't sell any books, I realized how absurd, how outrageous that was that I published a book. That should make me happy. Just the fact that I did that and expressed myself. But it was all these strings attached that I put on it was what was making me unhappy in the moment. And it's honestly crazy how just quickly you can let all of these attachments go, but it might be painful because you've been clinging to these things thinking that they'll make you happy. You've been clinging to the illusion of money and thinking that if you have a lot of money, then that'll make you happy. Well, there are people that are much richer than you. Just letting you know, no matter how poor or how wealthy you are, there are always going to be people that have more money than you, that are far less happy than you, they're far less grateful for what they have. They might not even have loving, happy relationships. And there are people that have far less money than you that are far more happy, that are far more grateful in life. So it's not what you have, it's who you are. Ooh, that was good. Like that. But stop putting conditions on your happiness. Stop putting these strings attached in your mind and pushing them to external things when you know that everything that you've ever wanted is inside you. I know that sounds cliche, but it's the truth. You can choose to accept it. You can choose not. And again, don't just believe all this because I say it. If you truly don't feel happy, look and see why. Is it because that you're giving your power away to other people? You're letting other people define your worth, and you're believing all the thoughts in your mind and all the limiting beliefs about how you're not worthy and about how all those people are better than you because they're comparing you to them and you should be here because at this point in your life. These are all just expectations. These are all just strings attached, and they're crazy. It's crazy me even thinking about this because this is the exact way that I used to thought, and it led to all of my suffering, which was all self-caused by all my absurd expectations that reality would conform to my mental illusions or the mental gymnastics I was doing in my mind. So let's stop doing this mental gymnastics. Let's stop putting expectations and putting conditions on our happiness. Well, let's just be happy, because I know you're going to say it's not that simple. It really is that simple. Stop putting conditions on your happiness. You are already happy. Go sit for 30 minutes and meditate. Sit for an hour and meditate, and if you're not happy after, I just meditate before this video. I just meditated for like 15 20 minutes, and I'm I'm just, I feel like a baby right now, so happy. But if you sit down and meditate for 30 minutes or an hour and you're not happy after that, I really don't know what's going to make you happy. I don't know. I don't want to rant on this too long, but I'm just so passionate about this subject of that we put way too many conditions on our happiness, and these conditions are the expectations are what is making us unhappy. It's so paradoxical. It makes absolutely no sense, but when you just detach from all these expectations, you realize that, again, I'll leave it on this. You're already happy. Remember, be kind to yourself. You know who you are. My name is Ari. If you like this video, give me the thumbs up and subscribe down below. I'm going to be making more videos like this. Peace. Have a great day. Remember, you are already happy inside.